Hello, fellow haunters. Welcome to Grunge Haunts and Props. My name is Chris Leonardo, and today we are going to be making Loctite foam bone fragments, femurs, arm bones, even a rib cage, with nothing else but our hands. So we're going to be sculpting Loctite foam to look like bones. So follow along and let's get started. Okay, we are going to try to sculpt some bones here out of Loctite foam. See how this goes. Obviously we're not using a mold, we're just going to freehand it. I've got my reference photo here, just of a skeleton, so that we can try to make, I don't know, some ribs, some femurs, some arm bones, and see what we can do. Apply your straw. We also want to wet down the area, so I'm going to do the edges. And we're just going to start out with a couple bones here. Okay, we'll start off small and see how that goes. So with Loctite, in between uses, you can just seal it off with some duct tape, and that will save it for a couple weeks. We spray the top of it with water. This will make it form a skin and make it dry faster. So I'm gonna wait about 4 minutes before I touch these. So anywhere from 4 to 7 minutes before it forms that skin and you can start actually sculpting it. All right, just gonna keep working on these here, see what we can do. This one's still a little bit stuck on here. Trying to thin out the middle a little bit. Like this one here. A little thin in the middle here, so I'm trying to work some of the material over there. We're at the point where we can start shaping it a bit. That one's looking good. This one, I want to flatten and stretch to turn it into a rib bone. We'll see if we can do that. Not really worried about the curve, but I am worried about how thick it is. So I can always curve it later with a heat gun. Do the same with these. All right, we're just gonna keep shaping it here. Now we can just go right under the wood. It's not sticky at all. Okay, so these bones actually turned out pretty good. I mean, I'm happy with it. These ribs, I'm going to start. I mean, I think they're actually going to work okay. I'm going to start putting a curve in it and just letting it dry so it has a little bit of curve. So I'm just looking at my reference photo to see how I want to do that. But I've got to do a lot more ribs, as you can see. So that's kind of a slow process. So we'll do some more ribs next. Okay, we're gonna wet this down again, and this time I'm going to do a lot more ribs and a sternum. So let's see how this goes. Spray them down. And we'll be back in 5 minutes. Okay, we're at the 5-minute mark and it's ready to go. So we're gonna start shaping this, knocking it down, and get it flat, evening it out. Haven't done these yet. This might be too many ribs to do at one time. It's just you have a finite amount of time before it's just unworkable. And we are almost at that point. All right, we're gonna have to let all this dry. See how it looks. Okay, now we're gonna make some vertebrae, and then maybe some smaller, thinner pieces that are gonna be like collarbones and that kind of stuff. We're just making a smattering of different types of bones. Okay, we're gonna wait 5 minutes and come back. Okay, it's been about 5 minutes, a little over 5 minutes, so we're gonna go wet down our hands and just start knocking this stuff down. And then we're gonna start pinching the individual vertebrae here, just slowly forming it. Making bumps in between. And we're just pinching off a little end, make it look like, you know, end of a bone. Just continue to work on these and sculpt them using your reference photo. Okay, I think we're good. Okay, so I've got my rib bones here, sternum vertebrae, some random bones here, and we're gonna try to make a rib cage here, somewhat realistic. It's not going to be anatomically correct, but see what we can do. So basically we're gonna use just hot glue these on, and just kind of cut them as we go along here. So I'm gonna start at the top with a thin bone here, the thinnest one I got. So now I'm going to try to bend. So on the reference, because they start going in a little angle here, so I'm going to just heat these up and see if I can't bend them a little bit. Okay, we need to let this dry just a little bit, and then we're going to put it, or start attaching it to the vertebrae. I'm going to warm these up a little bit so I can bend them. Okay, this is the haul here. So we used almost a full can. So probably around $6 worth of foam here. But I did have some extra or scrap pieces or pieces that didn't really work out and I threw away. So, but this is the haul. We've got, of course, you know, the rib cage. We've got arm bones, leg femurs, other just spare bones here, some spare ribs. Really liked, you know, rolling the foam for these bones here, rolling it like dough. That worked really well. I really like how these turned out. The rib cage, you know, it looks okay and it's pretty cool, but this is a lot of work. Way too much gluing. You know, it's really flimsy, and so it's just not worth the amount of work that you have to put in on this. But it looks okay. And I could have done it differently. I could have, instead of having to glue all the blades together, the rib blades, I could have just made them longer to begin with and then just cut off whatever excess I had in the back. But well, I'm gonna go ahead and antique these and paint them up and show you what they look like. Okay, to paint these, we're gonna use the camo paints, spray paint, and black wash antique paint. So we're just gonna start with some quick shadows with black, go to a dark brown, and then do a little bit of green and khaki. And here is the final product. Hand sculpted decaying bones with Loctite foam. Hey, if you enjoyed this tutorial, please like this video. Also, if you are a hunter or Halloween enthusiast, consider subscribing and getting updates and notifications anytime we put out new content. Thank you for watching, and as always, happy hunting!